All right, we are live. Good morning,
Cool.
everybody, or good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you are located. We are live with another crypto live trading session and market review with Bits of Wealth here with me today. We'll be going over the markets, what's happening, and we had a pretty awesome FOMO Friday session last Friday with a lot of experts here who were basically showing their charts and analysis and everything. And
Yeah.
markets are really doing so far what we've been kind of anticipating that they'll be doing. So excited to kind of dive into it. I see Bits of Wealth already has its charts up. Bits, how are you doing?
Doing all right. Just getting everything pulled up here. Already took a couple trades this week already, just
Oh,
scalps, but yeah, I did take a couple scalp trades for the week, but managed to catch this little scam pump thing up here
oh
and
yeah.
caught that to the short side. And then
Mm-hmm.
down here, I was able to get a hedge long position, which is still currently running right now. So this one, the short got stopped out. I basically just put stop. I think it was right above this. After it put in this low, it came here. I moved stop there, so that one got stopped. And then I grabbed
Mm-hmm.
a long down here, and that one's kind of moving up. Currently in profit. So yeah, it's been, I like this stuff. Again, like I said it this morning, I like my ranges.
Ranges.
Give me a
Yeah.
range. I'll play bottom to top, top to bottom. I'll wait. I'll just play it like that. But yeah, the big moves are fun. The big moves are fun, but these ranges are just like this is like the clock in, and you pay the bills, and it
Mhm.
is what it is. Yeah.
Yeah. No, easiest to trade. I was watching that stop hunt to the upside. I was very tempted to
Yeah.
short. I just didn't take. I was like, nah, let's
Yeah.
just. I'm good with the short that I had last week. I'm good
Yeah.
to go. I don't want to take another trade
Yep.
until it gets me a little bit higher, maybe of a position. But yeah, I mean,
Yep.
ranges are great if you want to, take position both ways, and
Yep.
it's like a money printer, really.
And I was waiting for a fake out. I didn't think it would be like so soon after I was waiting for it, and then not
Mhm.
this wiki. I thought it could like maybe push up a little bit more and kind of fake out a little better. But yeah, I mean, I just for me it was as simple as I was kind of expecting it. You had a lot of failed pushes to the upside here. I was
Mhm.
thinking because I think I had this drawn out already where I was just kind of like, yeah, look, I want something like this somewhere over here. And
Mhm.
then that happened, and I was targeting this low, and I didn't quite get that, but I would have liked for it to run the low, and it
Yeah.
didn't. But yeah, the only reason I really took it because I was expecting it. It was at the area that I would have looked for it, and it had some speed and momentum behind it. So I said, all right, we'll play, um, let that run, and then down here, this was just starting to look interesting. But this was kind of more of like the US UK handoff. I knew there could be a reversal down there, so was
Mhm.
willing to play that. But yeah, right now I'm just kind of chilling. I got that little long scalp still running, waiting for, there'll be another big move coming. At this point, I need to adjust this because at this point, like this is now where I'm kind of looking. I want to see this get taken
Mhm.
at some point. Um, but really, like up, we've got room. We've talked a lot about this, like 74 previous year
Mhm.
low at 74.5. That'll be a big area. You've got previous month open up here with previous week high. So we've got a lot of levels up here. The 1 month rolling VWAP, all of these are up near 80. That would be a heck of a push if it went that high. I don't know if it will, but yeah, let's see what happens here. But there's a lot of, like, in this range, there could be a lot of quick little scalp hits for people that like to trade ranges, and then just keep in mind like the bigger levels. I do think that at some point, if this thing is going lower, Lady Trader, I do think that we're
Mhm.
probably looking for at some point something that comes up here, somewhere around 74, 75, and then that should be the rejection that then takes us to back into the 50s at some point. So just a matter
Mhm.
of, if does that come this week? Does that come in, next week? Does that come, when does that come? But I think at some point it would make sense that we get something like that.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be coming over rather fast. See,
Yeah.
Carl just joined in. Hey, Carl. Yeah, this is gonna be a very interesting move. I think we have some chop here that's due.
Yeah.
So on higher time frame bits, what are you looking for on Bitcoin, Ethereum, anything else? I know others has kind of taken that um,
Um,
liquidity on the
yeah,
generational
yeah,
entries.
yeah. Look, let's start with the total chart because I think this one will kind of
Yeah.
cover everything. But um, look, we got that big sweep of this low that we were watching after we had the confirmed rejection from the trend line. So we did
Hmm.
get a sweep of this low from April of last year. And right now we got to close above it. So we've had even though it took the low, the week did close above it. I want to see how this week behaves here. It is still, kind of here at this level. I suspect it would make sense for it to come back up, and then if it's going to roll over, for it to do something like that, maybe. So, you do have the monthly open, you do have a previous month low up there as well. So there's some levels. The yearly open would actually give one heck of a run. That would be interesting if it went as high as the yearly open, because that's a big move. That actually has got quite a bit of you're talking yearly open is about 23, almost 24% from current levels. So that'd be a big move. Um, we'll see if it gets it, but I think more realistically, this is probably just going to chop around here, and then it's going to roll over if we're going to get continuation of the downside again. So I think we're probably just seeing this chopping around here for total crypto. And if that's the case, then yeah, I do think that even some of these, like others, some of these that took liquidity, I think they probably just chop around as well. Maybe consolidate here a little bit, and then ultimately kind of melt down for that next leg if that's what's going to play. The bullish scenario would be that at some point you get a little bit of a bounce here. I think the bullish scenario would be the one that maybe we go up to like the yearly open. And then
Hmm.
my bearish base case is we just kind of chop solidate right here a little bit. So um stablecoin dominance kind of, I think, agrees with like the chop solidation thesis a little bit more
Hmm.
than going for like an outright bull trap, bull run. You've got a lot, the wick high on your stablecoin dominance, and then down here where your support is, it's a huge range. I mean, this thing could just chop here for a while and not really break this new range that it basically put in here. So, and that's what we got last time. If we looked at 2021, that's what you had. You had your breakout, and then you just had a period of sideways consolidation. So we could get the same thing here, where this thing just kind of does something like that, and then continues on the preordained path, if you will.
Hmm.
Um, so yeah, let's see what happens here. I mean, this would all line up with Bitcoin also doing that, kind of chopping with 74, 75K is kind of the ceiling, and then maybe holding mid to lower 60s on the downside, and then at some point that rolls over, right? So yeah, it'll be interesting to see. I don't mind if it chills out here for a little bit. Again, I like trading these ranges. So what I'm more curious of in the short term is, what's this range going to look like? Is it going to be, is it going to be, 60, 65, 66 on the low end up to like 72? Is that the range we're going to trade? Is it
Hmm.
going to be a little bit tighter, right?
Yeah,
We'll
no,
see.
absolutely. I love what Carl said. Chop solidate. I'm gonna start a chart guys dictionary accordingly.
Yeah, a little bit of chop solidation, Yeah, we're gonna have to put that one on the chart guy repo for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. We need like a
Mm,
terms, like a list of terms. Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, this is incredible. I think it's pretty much in line with that. So you are in Bitcoin long right now. Any other
Yeah.
positions that you're in currently?
No, I believe that's the only one I have open at the moment. I was watching some of the other ones, but it's like BTC is just so much cleaner to trade that I'd rather
Yeah.
just wait. Cardano. Oh no, I lied. I have a Cardano position, which is still alive and
Oh, you
kicking.
told. Yeah, you shared that a while
Yeah,
ago,
yeah.
huh?
Yep, yeah. Off after it put in the low, I did take a long on Cardano, and that one is still alive. So I've not been stopped. It's still hanging out. I don't really plan on closing this one. I want to see if it can push up. It's got this, you got the 1 month VWAP overhead, which I think is like at least a realistic minimum target if it gets out of this. Because right here you're just kind of flagging, like you're just kind of hanging out. You're doing this. At
Mm-hmm.
some point, I'd like to see a pop up, whether it's just a previous week high or if it tries to get up to some of like yearly open or some of these levels. But I really do think that Cardano at this point, it's one of those that it just took out everything. There's not a
Mm-hmm.
lot. Like at this point, Cardano would need to just break down and almost go to zero basically, because you have nothing. You took out all of this structure here. Basically, you've taken out
Right.
all of this structure's lows. If you're going to lose that, I mean, Cardano's going to like levels down here that are just crazy. Like you're gonna drop massively if it's not going to
Yeah.
hold. So if this does hold after taking out 24, 25, and 23 lows, 23 it didn't quite take it out, but it got close.
Mm-hmm.
I want to see a mean reversion. I want to see a little bit of a mean reversion play from here. I want to see it go up. And even if it does ultimately continue down, I do think it is
Mm-hmm.
due for a move up. So personally, I'm kind of looking at my first zone I'm watching is right here at around like 42 cents or so. We're currently at 27. I want to see if we
Mm-hmm.
can get up to about 42 or so. If it can do that and we can start putting in some structure that maybe shows it's going to have another push, then I'm looking right
Mm-hmm.
here around like the 60 cent mark. And then again, if it were to
Mm-hmm.
flip structure again and continue, if it continues grinding inside of like this structure, right? Because you can build a range in here, but I think it
Mm-hmm.
could still go up. Maybe tag $1. I think that'd be kind of interesting. Is like my upper range target is about $1 to $1.20. And then
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I'd be looking for it to come back down, potentially back towards the lows again. So um yeah, I'm gonna hold this one. There's a couple like this that they cleaned out so much already that it's like, man, the only people holding this are the diamond handlers. You don't have that many short-term speculators to shake out
Yeah.
left in some of these. LTC's another one. Like you're not going to have a lot of short-term speculators here. You have the people that accumulated during bear market lows, and that is it. Everyone else has
Yeah.
almost been taken out. So I'd say with LTC, same thing. You're kind of in a place. I'm looking for a setup. It doesn't look as good as Cardano to me, but I think LTC has a real shot if it can get the opportunity. I think it's got a real shot going back to around $80 or so. It's at 54. And then if you get an extension, then I think you're looking back at 100 to about 120 or so, where I'd be looking. So we
Mm-hmm.
might get a little Dino Coin alt season if things can kind of you know lend to that opportunity, I guess.
Yeah, yeah. It's funny when you said Dino Coins because I
Mm.
remember this was like such a long time ago when we were on Sensei's
Yeah, and we did.
workshop. We talked about it.
You
And I
remember?
remember
No,
when yeah,
well, here's what was funny, right? Like when we did that
yeah,
Sensei show. Look, I'll show
uh-huh.
you exactly where this was, Lady Trader, because we got the pump shortly after that. So we
Yes,
did
we did.
Sensei's thing like somewhere down here when Litecoin was around similar prices, like 50, 60 bucks, and it ran
Yes.
to 100 and something. I remember
Mhm.
XRP. XRP was down here. XRP was like 50 cents. Look, it had a massive run. I
Mm.
remember we looked at Cardano as well. Cardano was down here somewhere as well, and it had its big pump. So I'm getting those same vibes again. Like I'm not calling for new all-time highs. I didn't call for new all-time highs back then either, but I feel like there's like a little Dino coin pump coming.
Yeah, which makes sense. NatNat is down for Dino all season. Let's go,
Yeah,
NatNat. Let's get
let's
that.
do it.
No, you're right. And I remember when we were on that call, and some people were like, nah, what, like, yeah, what you're talking about, man? These are
Yeah,
dead coin. And it made perfect sense because, like from my perspective, and I was hearing you say that, it made sense because to me, every altcoin is going to pump when there is
yeah,
alt season, right? That's
yeah,
basically how it works. And of course, those are the classic altcoins. They're going
yeah.
to do something there. So, no, I absolutely love that. I think even if Bitcoin chops here for a little bit, we could definitely see some big moves on these, some of
Yeah.
these Dino coins. So yeah,
And
I'm
this
I'm
one's like
with
pretty
you on
obvious,
this.
like that even just coming to the bottom of all of this would
Hmm.
make sense, right? So like I think if you got a mean reversion that just took you there, even that looks pretty clean. Here, let me clean it up so it's a little easier to see it. But it's like you had support here at this level for most of 2025, if almost
Hmm.
all of 2025. That's the level to watch. If you were to get a pump back up there, this is going to be a key area to watch. And then if you happen to get an overextension, then yeah, there's going to be some liquidity above these highs. But this is initially the target area that once you get that pump going from taking all the lows, because you now took 2025 low, you took 2024 low, you came down to 2023's low just about, right? It's like, okay, give me a mean reversion to the floor, 2025's
Hmm.
floor, basically up here before it lost that. And then yeah, like I think this is a solid trade. You know, if you were to structure it out, like you're looking at something like this, you know, it's like you getting in here, that below the low, you're looking to get it at least there. That's a 5R trade just to that. You're trading a 20% risk for a 116% potential reward, even just to that. So that's not horrible. And if it just comes here, which is my original target, that's closer to about a 3R, but it's still 60%er here, 100%er. And if it goes for the liquidity overhead, you got a almost 300% move, depending on how you measure it, 300-400%. So could be fun. And I suspect a lot of people will fade it, and then they'll ape in at, you know, at those levels where I'll be peeling profits. So
That's how it goes, right? Usually.
yeah, that's how it always goes.
Yeah, I love that. Anything else before I bring up my charts, Bits?
No, go for it. Yeah, glad you reminded me about Cardano though. I almost forgot I had that one open, but I put it on a different exchange so I wouldn't mess with it intentionally. I was like, no, I'm gonna put it over here so I don't mess with it.
Set it and forget it. Yeah.
Yeah, that is a strategy. I will tell you guys, if you're using exchanges, not only does it diversify your risk, but I think it's also smart to have a separate, either a sub account or just on a whole separate email, have another account for like your longer swings versus like your day trade scalps, because you might get yourself in a position where the market is nuking and you want to panic, just close all positions to get yourself out, and you might close some good swing positions that would have still been valid in that moment of panic. So I like to kind of separate that. I trade over several exchanges. I got a handful of exchanges that I use, and then there's a handful of accounts on each of those exchanges just to kind of diversify and separate risk.
Yeah, no, I love that. All right. I'm gonna bring up my charts. Let's move it slower here. Okay, here we go. All right. So what I'm looking
Why do you got to
at,
start the
of
day
course.
off so negative, Lady Trader? Why do you got to be so negative already? I'm trying to build
Five
my
more.
bull case, my bull build
I'm trying
bounce case, and Lady Trader pulls this up right away, and I'm just like, ah.
Well, we got to start with like the much bigger time frame,
I know,
right?
I'm just
So,
teasing you. Yeah.
uh, no, I've warned everybody that once
I
raw
know.
bear comes out, it's unforgiving, and so even I don't like raw bear, but it is what it is, right? We all like to see
That's
the
funny.
green markets, but what we were looking at. So this is first of all, this was nailed by Kelvin Ryan, who is my mentor in equities market. He doesn't really trade crypto much at all unless he's just shorting the extremes. He's not like a degen. He taught me how to read charts like over a decade ago, and that was phenomenal. Like I know all of his tricks, and it's pretty awesome. And we've had our disagreements on historical data because he's not like a strong believer in it, but he started to see it now more and more. So there's that. But he nailed it. It's like you're once a mentor, always a mentor. So
Yeah.
he nailed this top to the extreme. Like he shorted it, and that was amazing. And he also went long at 60K. It was his level, and it was just pure perfection. And so it's really awesome to kind of go back and forth on how he's trading crypto, because he's not native to crypto. He's pretty much in
Right.
in the equities and forex markets and commodities. So when he nails these, it's just phenomenal. It's like, okay, he'll come back once a year and he'll take a trade and it would be just perfect. And so he nailed the top, he nailed 60K, and he's expecting obviously lower price targets. But this is a trend line that I wasn't even watching until he brought to my attention. It's a phenomenal trend line. This one I found on my own. This one he showed me when he shorted. Now I'm looking at these two trend lines very closely. Why? Because it's actually, I know we've kind of talked about it in the group a little bit, and there were some newcomers who were talking about why do you think there's going to be a big crash like this? What's there? So I just want to recap something that I've been talking about all this time. So Bitcoin goes through these halving every 4 years, right? So when we say 4 year cycles are dead, well, no, because every 4 year you're going to get a halving. So even for you to say that, it's just pure dumb. It just doesn't make sense. So every 4 year you have a halving, then you go through what we call a bear year, right? So we had 2012, we had a halving, and then 2013 was this bull year, and then 2014 was the bear year, right? And then same thing happened here after that. So you had, this was 2017. I'm sorry. There was another one here in 2014 and before. So you could actually see that 2013 and then 2014 was the barrier. I could go back and pull up an older chart, but this is what I'm going to stick to. So 2017 bull year, 2018 barrier, 2021 was your bull year, and then 2022 was your barrier. And we are seeing the same thing here. So those of us who did nail the top, we basically were just looking at what happened in 2013, what happened in 2017, what happened in 2021, and we were thinking, because it's happened since the first halving, we don't really have a reason to say it's going to be different this time until it shows us that there's a difference, right? We are going to follow that data, and that's really why we had it in our thesis, and we kind of exited in October, because that was the calculation. We had it's basically from the halving to the top. You could kind of go back and calculate it. I'm going to give you a bit of a homework here to do. So you go back and look at how many months there are between halving and the top for each cycle, and then also take a look at from the top to the bottom how many months there are, and you'll find some pretty awesome numbers there. So I'm going to leave that with you. Now, we had pretty awesome corrections each time, right? It's getting a little bit lower every time, but let's take a look at this one. So we had a right here about 83 to 85% crash. Then we had here about 76 to about 77%. I'm going to leave it here. So now we are expecting, like, conservatively, if I say 70% is going to put us here, right around here at about 36 to 37K. I'm looking at this trend line, which is about 73K, pretty comparable to what we've had previously, maybe a little bit higher. But like, this was 77. So it's basically getting better, right? So it's getting better. We had 83%. If you look at the previous one, 2014, it was even bigger than that. I think it was 88, if I'm not mistaken, or a little bit higher than that. So it's getting better. The bear markets are getting better. We had 83% drop, then 77% drop here. Now let's see what happens this time. But this is an area that I'm watching very closely. This box that I've drawn, this is where I anticipate Bitcoin to end up, and before October or by October, right? If it gets there before October, it's going to be somewhere here. So the way that you look at it, so first of all, this is going to be a 73% crash, right? Once we get to this, it's not bad at all. I am putting the time here, right? So if you go back, if you actually start tracking the time here, and you look at October, it's going to put you around 33K. So right here. Now, if we get there before then of course you're looking at potentially going lower than that, which is okay as well again. But I'm going to be waiting for October to see where the price is. But this is a trend line that I'm watching. Either it's going to come back here very aggressively, maybe have a bounce and then break it even more violently, right? And go below that. So I'm going to be watching for all the possibilities. But this is my ideal scenario. If it gets here, we are in October, and the price is in this box, I am buying. I'm selling everything and I'm buying Bitcoin right here. That's going to be the plan. And so, and then of course, for the upside, I'm not going to be too greedy. So we understand that sometimes in 2029, we're going to top out. And so if we top, I'm going to have to count it again. If we top in September, let's see where it puts us. So it puts us around 178, 180K, right? Which makes sense, because that's going to be a psychological number, right? If we are sitting at 180K, everybody's going to be asking for 200K and above. Some people are already thinking we're going to go into 500K or a million. It's not going to happen. This is going to be even a lucky scenario, because now we are talking about going above that really ugly yearly close, which we are going to get to here in a second. So this is going to be the best case scenario, is that 180. Now, can we break this trend line? Yes, we can. Right? We ideally we get there sooner, not wait until the top month, but get there a lot sooner and then kind of have a breakout to the upside. Yeah, absolutely a possibility. But most likely, whenever we get to this trend line, there's going to be a significant rejection off of this trend line, significant rejection, right? So let's watch and see what happens. But this is what I'm watching for the bear market. It's happened before. It's not going to be different this time. It's showing us so far, like any of you who were kind of chanting just for the sake of saying sake of staying bullish, saying, okay, this is it. It's going to be different this time. Well, it kind of slapped you so many times that, hey, kiddos, it's not going to be different this time. It's going to be exactly the same. It gave you all of this structure here. And then now it's showing you it's not different this time. This Bitcoin historical data, the 4-year cycles are playing out beautifully. And once we get there, then we're going to see if it bottoms out here, because there's a possibility, because all of you want the 4-year cycles to end. Maybe it will end this time, and we'll see. And it's not going to be for the bull case. It's going to be for the bear case if it does break that 4-year cycle. So that's really what I'm watching, is this box here. Bits and I have covered this quite a bit in Telegram, even before like the big crash. We've been talking about it for a while on Wolf Spaces and Telegram chat, that Bitcoin is likely going into 30s or even could go lower. I mean, some people have said it's going to go into 20s. We are open to all the possibilities, but this is the ideal case, that we get here and then hopefully we bottom out and create new all-time highs from there. Now, 12-month chart, I can't bring this enough. This is bad. This is not good right here. And then once you get here, this is bad as well. So now you are saying, we are going to bottom out here and hopefully create a new all-time high after that. That's going to take time and lots of momentum. And there's a possibility that we may not create a new all-time high after this, because whenever you have, like, if you look at any of the other assets, when you have a yearly close like this, it usually kicks off a multi-year bear cycle. So I'm open to that possibility, right? Like, this could send us into a multi-year bear cycle. But regardless, this is going to still give you a meaningful return. At least that's what I'm anticipating, unless things go really wrong and then, we continue to just go lower. It gets us here, we all buy, and then it continues to go lower, right? That's always a possibility, which is why I'm buying a lot here, but I'm still going to be keeping some fiat on the table just in case. Usually that's not the case for me. When I buy the bottom on Bitcoin, it's like, oh, go all in and it's going to be okay. But this is a very significant pattern on a 12-month chart. And very few people are actually talking about it. Bits and myself, we've been watching this very closely, but very few other people on Twitter are talking about it. And every time we find someone talking about it, we tag each other and like, hey, look at this person. We found another person who is watching the yearly chart, because not a lot of people are looking at it right now. And this is speaking danger. Anyone who is talking about bullish stuff, which, we all want bullish chart for Bitcoin. We all want Bitcoin to go to $1 million. I want it too. But when the chart tells you this, you have to kind of step back and say, all right, what the heck is this? And the worst thing you can do is right now call for a new all-time high. Right now, you get your community in because you're a KOL. You can tell them to buy the dip and get them crushed. That's just stupid, right? You can all read the charts. You can all see what's happening here. So be cautious, protect yourself, protect your communities. That should be the priority. Protecting your liquidity should be the priority. So while I'm watching the bottom here, I'm going to tell everybody to be very cautious, because after this kind of a pattern, this can easily send you into a major bear market. Another thing to consider, BTC, let's look at the all-time history of Bitcoin, right? This one. This is a pretty significant move to the upside. Bitcoin has had these big runs without like a major correction. And we're talking about huge correction. We've had some major corrections, right? But this kind of a chart is screaming for a major correction that we have not seen yet. That level of correction. So just have to cautiously watch this and be careful with what's happening. So that's what it is. Another thing, percentages are your best friends. Please make sure that you're keeping an eye on percentages. Very, very crucial, because that's when you see things like, oh, but Bitcoin created a new all-time high before the halving. This time it's different. It's like, no, percentages wise, it was exactly like what it did during the last bull market. So there's no difference there, right? This crashed from the top to the bottom. The worst crash, like, it was pretty significant. It was pretty awful. But if you look at the percentages, it was pretty similar to what happened in 2021 to the spring before Luna crash. And so it's very, very similar. Very similar patterns, right? Of course, those small things like those micro incidents don't matter much, because on the macro level, it's exactly the same. We topped where we were supposed to. Hopefully, we bottom out where we are supposed to as well. But it's very similar. It's rhyming to say the least. So you have to pay attention to that. Now, what am I looking for right now for Bitcoin? Let's go back to my chart here. Okay, so I already said I'm watching this level here. The next one I'm watching is a chop. So this is basically your weekly level here. What I am looking for is a potential chop between this and let's say about 65, because it's a psychological level. Okay, so I'm gonna say I'm gonna look for a chop in this area. We could even move this a little bit further, maybe to this one, right? But this is it. And so what I'm looking for is potentially a range, a chop between these levels, these two numbers, and then further downside, right? So now maybe it will take 3 to 4 weeks, maybe 2 to 3 weeks. I don't know how long. Maybe we don't get that until April. We don't know yet. But this is the range that I'm anticipating that Bitcoin is going to be in, which Bits of Wealth is going to love it because it's going to have these ranges, right? You go long at the lows of the range, you go short at the top of the range, wherever that may be. I'd be very surprised even, if it goes above that, like if it goes over a little bit. It's okay. I welcome that, right? Go take us to 85. Okay, I'm fine with it. The higher you go, the bigger my short position is going to be. But this is the area that I'm watching, and so whenever it does like an extreme move, that would be the move that I'll be watching and hoping for a setup to go short. Again, it's not going to be a blind short that I just take it. You guys already know my strategy. We've taught it in the group quite a bit on the confirmations that we use to go short, but this is the range that I'm looking for. So this is, watch for this range. This is where the price is going to be consolidating within this range. They're going to keep us here, build a lot of positions on either side, right? Long, go short, trap traders before we go lower, unless we get lucky enough and they just kind of, say, all right, we're not going to even chop, let's just go lower. That's a possibility always, right? But ideally, you want markets to kind of chop here, consolidate, build positions, build liquidity, and then take a lower move here. So that's what I'm anticipating. And then also on daily chart, this is going to be very similar to that Solana trade we've taken. So it's taken out all of the liquidity below this one, right? We have a ton of liquidity here that it hasn't taken out yet. Even this liquidity here was not taken. And so what we could also do potentially, which again is going to be less likely, but maybe we go all the way up to this daily 800 EMA, which is a major price point, maybe even go a little bit above that. So it would be something like this. Again, I'm open to that possibility, right? So what we are looking for is basically a move like this. Go up and then down, of course. It's never in a straight line, right? Yeah, I'm sure everybody's smart enough to understand that. But this is a possibility as well.
They're going to say, Lady Trader, you drew a straight line all the way up, and it did all kinds of jaggies on the way up. And then you drew, your line was straight all the way down to 50 something, and it didn't go straight down. Yeah, people.
I know that's how it was with Solana trade. I remember people are like, oh, but it didn't, like it was at least one person. It was just like a silly comment that, hey, but it didn't go straight down. It's like, yeah, I wish that's how the charts worked. It don't work like that. But I mean, on the weekly it did, on the monthly it did as well. So there's that. I mean, it gave you a straight line.
Yeah.
So it depends on what chart you're looking at. But yeah, this was pretty much similar to the Solana trade, which worked out beautifully. We drew it when we were here. Nobody was even thinking.
Yep.
People thought we already bottomed out here. We're gonna go to the moon, and we're like, nah, we're gonna take this liquidity first, then we're gonna go up to this level, and then we're gonna crash. And this is exactly what happened. And now we are seeing something very similar on Bitcoin chart. So maybe we get that lucky, and it goes all the way up to that daily EMA, right? A daily 800, and then it crashes. So that's what I'm looking at. And so that's really what I'm watching for Bitcoin. It is going to be hitting those levels one at a time, right? We are going to be looking at when we get to those levels below, It's not going to be a straight shot here, right? This is why I put it here. It's going to be in October sometime, hopefully. If it gets there sooner, that's trouble to me. But hey, I welcome lower prices. Give me a lower price, that's fine. This is what I said. Like, I posted something on my X. You go and take a look at it. This is the same an analysis of the same theories, the same thesis that I have. And the frequently asked questions, which I know a lot of people ask, one is, what if we go below? It's kind of like, hey, I went to a shop, they said it was going to be a 75% off sale. Ladies, we love sales. And when I go there, they say, well, we're going to offer you 85%. Am I going to complain? No, I'm going to be happy about it, right? So if you give me a lower price than this, that's perfectly fine. I'm okay with it. And so it's going to tell me there's an anomaly, and I have to track it carefully, maybe get out sooner and not worry about creating all new all-time high and all of that, because that would be pretty significant move. But I welcome those prices regardless. And so that's how you have to view it. It's not like, haha, you were wrong, lady. You said it was going to bottom out at 33. Well, yeah, I'm giving you a range. Hopefully we bottom out here. If not, be happy. You got even a better price than that. So that's how it's going to be. It will be a point of celebration. So that's what I'm looking at. Of course, these are going to be significant level as well, right? 52, 49K. Those are going to be your major levels.
Yeah.
Yep. Major level, right? And the funny thing is, watch what it does. It doesn't quite give you that liquidity sweep until it's like, it didn't give you liquidity sweep here until it was ready to take it fully.
Aggressively. Yeah.
Aggressively, yes. Because
this is why I'm thinking like this leads to that consolidation here, because it didn't take it right. And then when it takes it, it's going to melt. It's going to melt.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. Yes. Because that's what it did here, right? It didn't take this liquidity. And then it gave us this little move to kind of get us all excited. New all-time high, folks came in and everything. And then, of course, it got everybody crushed. And I think this is what it's doing right now. It's going to do something like this, probably, maybe even less than this, right? Maybe 4 weeks, 3 to 4 weeks.
Well, if you count from the high, this is technically only the second leg down, right? Like you had your initial leg down, then you consolidated. This is the second leg down. There could be another. There's the third leg down, probably. So.
Yeah. Yep. And third leg is usually very significant. So that's when everybody gets scared, right? That's basically there to scare you. So although some people can say this was the first leg here, and this is the second leg, and this is the third leg, we've bottomed out. I don't agree with that, because
I don't agree with it. Yeah, it's not enough.
Yeah, not enough. So we'll see how this works out. But yeah, I mean, right now, like 60K was a good level to buy. There was a major EMA here as well. It was I think Coral EMA as well, that a lot of people use for their analysis, especially if you use CRT or Kelvin Ryan trading method. So that worked out beautifully. Solana, let's take a look at that one. Where was it? Okay, so Solana, if you guys remember, I was drawing this before this move happened. This was like the first level that I'm watching. This is going to be the second level where we could see a little bit of a bounce off of this level, right? It can maybe go even a little bit under this, just like how it did here. And then this is going to be the third level. This could be the bottom, or unless we get super lucky and we end up here, then it's even better. But these two are the levels that I'm interested in for October and November to see how Bitcoin plays out here. Anything under this, not too interested in this one, but there's going to be some bounce here. Unless we are in October and November already and we are just sitting here, then yeah, but it's looking very weak to me right now. Super weak. I mean, this is, very clear head and shoulder pattern, multi-year, double top. Man, this is like a recipe for a disaster. It's like almost,
it's going to set new lows. It's going to it's going to go parabolic below that low.
Give me that, bitch. Please do that. Yes, I mean, there's a possibility, because that's what happens is usually when you have a multi-session or a multi-day levels like this, I mean, even on a smaller time frame, you could see where the price ends up. Usually it will go under, this level usually on a smaller time frame.
Nat says she wants $10 SOL. Look, I'm happy. God. I'm happy under 20, because that's kind of been the number I've been saying for the last couple of years. It's like Solana's going back to $20. It's going back to 20. It's been my level. I'll be happy with under 20. But yeah.
I mean, you
imagine it goes under $1. Oh God.
Oh my God. That would be the trade of the century, Bits.
Yeah, I know.
Once in a lifetime trade. That would really be
What
once in
was
a
the low?
lifetime.
$8? Yeah, so if it swept that $8 and went under like $5.
I mean, it was lower than that, right? Like if we go historically, well, let me see if I can find like a. Is there an index?
You
I
should be
don't
able to
think
do
it.
like Soul all time. You should be able to just do like Soul all time. Uh,
Uh,
no, huh?
no, that's like I know it was like in 20 cents or something, right? Oh, here we go. Okay, this is better. Yeah, this is better. Okay.
Yeah, see, send it back down to that range. Yeah,
Oh my
give
God,
me some of
it's like
those.
a
Yeah.
dollar. Okay. I mean, I'm not
What was
opposed to
that
that.
high? What was that high though? That high on the left, like where it peaked of
What's
that
this
of
one?
no, the one below that of that bottom range of the bottom
Okay,
range.
let's take a look. Okay,
Because
let's
it
see.
because it did have like a cycle high over there, whatever that was. Yeah. Send it to that, whatever that is. Yeah,
Five
send it under
dollars.
$5. Yeah, send it to $5. Send it to
Okay,
five
well, I'm
bucks.
I'm okay with that. I'm totally okay with that. I think Nat is okay with it. Crypto Crank would be okay with it, I'm
Mm.
sure. Carl would love to ape and get a whole bunch of supply there so he
I mean,
can buy
it
more.
won't be fun for like our Soul ecosystem tokens that we're holding, but it's whatever. Just get it
Yeah.
over with. You know.
Yep. I mean, yep. Nat says she'll take it at $5 as well. So
Yeah.
yeah, I think we will all be excited for that. So let's see where it ends up. But I mean, after this kind of a move, usually it's not a good news. This is a
Right.
bad pattern. This is like, if you look at what it reminds me, which I did trade live, was Brexit,
Mm.
GBP USD. Man, monthly pattern like this, like a monthly um, head and shoulder pattern. It was so scary looking, and people were bullish, and they were like, "Oh, it's not going to happen." And I'm like, the charts are telling you, British pound is going to crash pretty badly, and it did. Um, so it's like it reminds me of that, and it's usually not a good news. So let's see where
You,
it ends up.
you know what I haven't done? And it
Hmm.
sounds like it's an assignment I need to do probably for like FOMO Friday or something, but I need to go back and I need to look at like the total crypto charts. Um, but I need to exclude Solana because what I want to see is
Mm,
what would those charts have looked like if you had taken out Solana and all the meme coin craze? Because people say we didn't get euphoria this time, and I disagree. I think we did get it, but we got it on Solana. All that liquidity,
mhm.
all that energy, all of that was focused on Solana and meme coins. I'd be curious what it looks like if you remove Solana and its liquidity and its market cap from total crypto and from any of the stuff that happened, just to see what it looked like. But yeah, I'll try
Yeah,
and prep something maybe for FOMO Friday where we look at some crazy charts like that. But
yeah, no, absolutely. I think it would be great. But this is like a very weak chart. Like, Bits, look at this head and shoulder
I know, oh,
on a
I know.
weekly. Man, this is a recipe for a disaster. And this one even monthly. You can't tell me like you're right, Bits. Like this is gonna probably go lower than this. We'll see.
It feels like it will. It feels like it will.
Yeah.
Here, let me share one chart real quick since we're talking about this, and I always get excited talking
Yes.
about Solana under 20.
Yep.
It's my passion. I'd do it for free. If you need someone at your event to talk about Solana under $20, I will take myself to your event to talk about Solana under $20. Just throwing that out there. No, look, one of the main reasons I've been so bearish on Solana is this, and this is just to keep it super simple. Okay, let me remove some of this stuff just to really make it really clean, and so you can see the comparison. So this is here. Let's actually even do. Now we'll leave it on this one. Okay, so we'll do Sol here. So I did this comparison a while back, and since then, it's really what gave me a lot of clarity on Solana. So this is a 90-day chart of Solana, and then this is a 90-day chart of Solana's market cap. And I started ringing the bell that something was broken with Solana when I was watching both of these charts side by side, and I started noticing that Solana was not closing above 2021 on this 90-day chart, even when it did it back here in March of 2024, and then it did it again around December of 2024. Even with all the meme coin craze, it was hitting a ceiling right here at $200. Like and this is where the memes and the stuff would come from about like Solana above 200, never above 200, because it would get periods where it would run above 200, but on a long-term time frame, 200 has been that ceiling for Solana. It just will not go above 200. But at the same time, here's what was interesting, right? So you had Solana ran up during that first part of the bull run, and it hit that ceiling, and then it relaxed, right? Solana's market cap did not. Solana's market cap blew through the 2021 ceiling. And it actually, Solana's market cap came back and sat on it as support to go higher. Solana's token price did not. Solana's token price rejected, came back and rejected again, came back after setting lower lows now. So these are lower closes. You closed up here, then you closed down here even lower. This was the final fake out. This one I played this one, and I actually have a tweet that I put out up here at $250 where I said I am fully out of all Solana and Solana ecosystem, because what you did is you had a low, lower low, and lower close, and then you had this basically like a fake out move where even though you got the higher close here, it was actually I think the ICT guys call this like the SMT, right? Smart money techniques or whatever, where it's like you get like a higher close, but you have a lower high, or it's the other way around. But there's basically like a deviation where these two are not, these two are not telling the same story, right? So you got something like that going on here. And this just did not look good. What you had is you basically had Solana just range trading between about $120 and $200. That was your range. Anything above 200 was just an opportunity to sell at a premium. That's all this was for Solana on a 90-day chart. Anything above 200 was just an opportunity for you to sell at a premium, right? The market was going crazy. You could have sold at a premium. But your main trading range on a 90-day chart is this. Solana did not want to go below 120 or above 200 on a long-term time frame. But on your market cap chart, you looked at market cap was actually going higher. During this whole consolidation here for Solana, that this was going sideways, your market cap was going higher and higher. So what this was telling me is that money was flowing into Solana and Solana ecosystem, but because of Solana's inflation and because of all the extraction that was happening, you were growing the market cap of Solana. Lots of money was coming into more tokens, more this. You were fragmenting everything, but Solana's token price was flat and just going sideways. And a lot of people missed it. I even made a video. I'll share it again today. But I made a video where I said, look, Solana, and this was back here after like this high had come down. I said, there's a really good chance Solana has topped for the entire cycle. And everyone missed it because of inflation. They weren't paying attention to the fact that inflation happened. And from cycle high, right? So if you go cycle high to cycle high, your market cap had a 77, almost 78% growth, but your token price from cycle high to cycle high only went up 13%, not even 14%. So Solana's inflation hid the fact that money was coming in fast and hot into the ecosystem, but the token was just not able to sustain that growth because of inflation and because of the way that it happened. So look, and now it's telling a scary story. Now you're actually this level that Solana's market cap has held this entire cycle, which is the 2021 high, right? It had held 2021 high as support. We're now likely to get a 90-day close below that for the first time. So it begs the question, are we about to see this on market cap? And if market cap is about to do that, then you bet your ass that token price is going to take out these lows. You bet your ass it's going to take out these lows.
Yeah. This is going to be very interesting.
This has been my Solana thesis. I've not been bearish Solana just for fun because I feel like it. It's because there were signs. And I've made a lot of content. A lot of it has been controversial. A lot of it has got me a lot of haters from the soul side. But it is what it is, guys. You're choosing to not see the truth that is sitting there screaming at you that this play is done. This was the top. It's done, and it's going to numbers that are going to make you very uncomfortable when it goes to those numbers. And people are still going to sit here holding for some kind of hopium that this thing is going to go and somehow put in a new all-time high, and it's not. You need to wash out all of this. You need to wash out all the people that bought generational entries down here. You need to wash all of that out.
Yeah,
It's
agree
going
with
to be
that.
brutal. It's going to be brutal for Solana and Solana holders. Brutal.
Yep. Yep. No, I agree with
This
that.
is
And
where
I
the
think
bits
that
bear comes out. You get me talking about Solana, and it's like my whole mood changes, man. I'm just like, I'm putting on like I don't know, like the villain hat or something, and it's like, oh boy, yeah. I turn
yeah,
into the
no,
bear. I turn into the bear again, man. PFP was
yeah.
almost changing live.
What's worse though, Raw Bear or Bits Solana Bear? I don't know. It's yeah, they're
Bits
both
Soul Bear is pretty rough, I'd say.
yeah. And you've been very consistent on that, Bits. This is I remember
Mm,
even during the bull market, you were
yeah.
kind of like when that range was happening, every time it goes over
Yep.
$200,
Yeah. Yeah.
you
Yep.
keep bringing it up. And I
I'd
remember
slam it.
all of those
Yeah.
yeah, and the issues we had during the spaces, and it would be like, okay,
Hmm.
Elon doesn't like to hear bad things about Solana. I remember technical
Yeah.
difficulties that we've had during those. But yeah, no, I agree with you on that. It's also like that kind of a monthly chart. It's also telling you a story. The same
Yeah.
thing really
I think it is.
is, keeping an eye on Bitcoin yearly close like that, and now Solana acting like this, potentially taking out that low from, from 2022. I
Hmm.
mean, it's dangerous territory for crypto overall. So hopefully we do bottom out in October and we get some big upside. I mean, there's going to be still major
No.
upside, if we even go there. But yeah, inflation. But it's also like going into the next bull cycle, we have to track that inflation rate very closely on Solana, you know, um, and the
Ooh,
Solana
here.
market cap and how it grows.
Let me add this back so I can show you. I found those tweets that I had right here. I mean, I'm
Yeah.
telling you guys, I was vocal about this. And I mean, look, I put those out, right where it mattered. I put it
Mhm.
out here because I traded this move up on Solana. I waited for this correction and I did trade it up, but I was out. I was out. And then on the bearish retest, right? On this lower high, I did say if you're buying it here because you missed it at here, you deserve what comes next. And here we are. Here we are, guys. This is my Steve moment. My little called it Steve moment right here. So
No,
yeah,
perfection right there.
it's not been good. It's not been kind to the soul
No.
maxis that faded, and I thank God that I was looking at the market cap versus token price because that's what really gave me the clues. That's what gave me the insights that this thing was not healthy. Was that market cap versus token price chart on the high time frame on a 90-day time frame? It was
Yeah, yeah.
screaming. Yeah,
Most people
it
don't
was
look at
absolutely
that.
screaming.
They are just looking at one side, right? Like
Yeah.
especially even when we were earlier on the space and we were talking about that Bitcoin Gold and
Yeah.
how you kind of turned bearish a little bit early in the cycle,
Yeah.
but you called it basically altcoin top. That was
Yeah.
basically the
Um,
altcoin top, really. And so you gotta look at all of these like other charts too. You can't be just looking at Sol USD and call it good. You
right.
got to look at all the other relatable charts that would give you a full picture. So Sol is there. ETH is really a similar story, in my opinion. I've been very
ETH.
confident in calling
Man.
ETH going under um, 2022 lows. Like it's going into the triple digits
Yeah.
very soon, and potentially taking out this low as well. So yeah, and ETH chart. I don't even want to talk about it myself. I think Bits, you do a much better job when you invert the ETH chart and show us what we what we are. Like everybody's
Oh
under.
man. Yeah.
They're in a denial. They don't want to. Like ETH is going to whatever. Like I don't know. I probably want you to do Ethereum analysis on the higher time frame just because you invert the chart and it makes so much more sense
Yeah.
if you want to do that.
Yeah. There, let me pull it up real quick. Add mine back to stage. Oh,
Oh,
go for it.
there we
There you
go.
go. Yeah, if you look at ETH over a long period of time, like you got to put, I'm on a monthly chart. You got to go back to, prior cycles, pre 17 high, pre all of this stuff. I mean, if you just look at this, right? And here's the thing. I feel like a lot of times we get super caught up in trying to, how can I say, we're trying to tell our eyes that they're not seeing what they're seeing, right? Think about that for a sec. Like I feel like we spend a lot of time telling our brain and our eyeballs why the things they are clearly seeing are not there. So this is the Ethereum chart. Yes, it looks healthy. It's grown. It went really flat here. I would, right away without even inverting it, like you can highlight the fact that this was your 2021 high and all it did was really just poke out slightly above that, right? So it was a deviation above it. You invert the chart, you'll see the same thing, but I think when it's inverted for some reason, like we've grown used to, if you've been around, I guess, more than one cycle, you've kind of grown used to looking for charts like this, because this is what happens during bear market lows. Like you look for these consolidations at bear market lows, right? Something like this, prices come down, major correction. You look for a range where it's sitting here and it's consolidating at the bottom of the bear market. Then a lot of times there's like a final shakeout. There's some kind of like deviation below the range, and then it moves away from that, right? And then you wait for it to get a breakout to the top side and then come back and basically flip that range bullish. You saw the same thing with BTC. I'll give you an example. Okay. I'll give you an example. BTC, right back here, last cycle. What did you get? Massive move down, right? You had a range here where it consolidated inside a range. You could say that it was this even initially, right? That this was it. You had your final break below it, right? So this was your fake out. So big correction, did consolidation here inside the range, big sweep to the bottom that takes out all the people that were leverage longing here. And then what you do is you look for a breakout to the upside. That's what this was. This was your breakout to the upside here. This also eventually comes down and kind of sits on the top of this range, right? Sits on the top of this range and then it goes higher. Okay. So if you take that same concept, the same thing that we're seeing here with BTC of how it formed its bear market low, basically, right? So you take the same idea here, it gave you a range at the bottom, had the fake out, broke up, sits on it, and then moves away from it. Okay. So notice this, right? How does that look different from this? Like at some point, whether this was it already or it's going to put it in at some point, look fine. Maybe it can still put it in one more time, right? But it is interesting that all you got down here was just a sweep of this liquidity from 2021. You just had a tiny little deviation above that. So I think the thing to watch now is if this breaks these lows here, right? If it breaks 1,000 right here, right? If it breaks that, there's a good chance that this is going to do something like that, where it comes back in, sits on this as support now, and this sucker wants to go up here to some numbers that none of us are going to be comfortable thinking about. I mean, you're talking sub $100 for ETH. It's crazy. This would be a very bearish thing to happen, but it could happen, right? If you lose this low here. So we have to be careful of that, and especially if it comes and flips it into some kind of support here on the inverse. So this is what it's going to look like on a regular chart. It'll look something like that, but the inverted chart, it just makes it look so clean to me. So I don't know. I'm watching it. If you look at a 3-month chart, you can clearly see that as well. This was just the move below. On a 3-month chart, this was your range. And then this was the fake out. It's even more clear on a 3-month, right? That was it here. You had the fake out. You're back above. If it does something like this, I mean, tell me why this is impossible. Tell me why structurally something like this, if we take out this level here and it comes back, sits on it, why is this impossible? It's not. This looks really, really clear to me. Let's look at a 6-month chart. I mean, why couldn't it do that? This to me is screaming that it wants to come for this liquidity here under $150. That to me is screaming. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know if we'll get it, but this looks dirty. This looks nasty. This is a chart that's going to hurt some feelings. And I bought Ethereum. Like I think a lot of us accumulated Ethereum at these prices for a long time.
We did.
And then when it made that run in 2021, man, our bags were up. Up because it was a crazy runner. But now it looks to me like we're going to give a lot of that back. It looks to me like a lot of the people that bought here and have been sitting here comfy, that, you know, were uncomfortable watching it just go sideways, but didn't take any profits here. The people that bought here and did not take any profit here, they're about to be put to test to see if they're going to sell and capitulate, in my opinion. So, yeah, y'all are making me bearish. All this bear talk. Yeah, this. You start getting me talking about bear charts, and I feel like my bearish PFP coming back. I feel like that aura coming back into me. It's like it gives me new life. I feel like I'm like being reborn again in the fire. I don't know. I kind of like it.
I love that. No, it makes sense. I mean, the fact that we didn't really go too far above 2021 highs, there's definitely, it's all on the table. And guys, this is the thing. Like, nobody's really talking about it yet. No one is going to go that far. So you've heard about it here first. So
did you see what Fud said? He says, "Post the chart with no context, just the chart."
Yeah, you need to do that. You absolutely need to do that.
Just for fun.
Just for fun. Yeah. Right, just man, it's gonna, yeah. And see, this is the thing too. When we say lines, you know, you guys draw the lines. These lines don't work. It's like, yeah, like look at our track record. They work pretty awesome. But this is totally a possibility, right? This is a thesis that we have that it could happen. Maybe it won't. Maybe it will just bottom out at, you know, $900 or something like this. But this is a real possibility, especially if it plays out. You know, I mean, the yearly chart on it, Bitcoin is telling you a story. It's not like us just trying to be prophets here, right? We are just talking about what we see on the charts, what is possible. It's not guaranteed, but it's a possibility. And man, yeah, this is.
It's not even a prediction. Yeah, I don't even think this is like prediction. This is just us looking at the data and saying, how could this chart move? Well, this is one way that it could move, guys. I mean, it's just the truth. This is a way that this chart could move, and it's structural. Look, I mean, I drew this stupid thing, not even looking at how like structurally sound a move like this could be. It blows my mind. I've drawn too many damn lines already. This is why stuff like this happens. But yeah, this to me is just screaming like just it's gonna be a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing.
Right.
So save your money, guys. We're gonna get a chance to buy, you know, sub $150 ETH again. Maybe cheaper, depending on what happens here. Because you imagine we go into like that decade-long super bear cycle. Then I mean, I don't know. Then are we looking at these prices?
Oh my God, Bits. Now it's exciting.
Or at least this FVG here, right? Like at least this.
Yeah, that fair value gap needs to fill at some point, yeah.
That's a huge one right here. Like this, and even structurally, like this is beautiful structure here. Like, are we gonna get $20 Ethereum? That's wild.
That would be a dream come true.
Tom Lee. Oh my God, man. Poor dude.
That's gonna be fun. But yeah, I mean, this is what the charts are telling you. The yearly close on Bitcoin, it leaves like nothing to like. It's just pretty much all the bets are off at this point with that kind of a yearly close. You can get as crazy as you want with your bearish predictions and numbers. It's all a possibility at this point with that kind of a yearly close. I think we all and the fun part is we welcome it. I don't understand why you would be offended at those prices. Why you would be offended if somebody says Bitcoin can potentially go to 30K or under, or why Ethereum could go 3 digits or lower. You should be happy about it, unless you're just a scammer and a farmer who just likes to create their own farms every single day, and you just like to that's your basically livelihood. That's a different story, right? Because if you're not a scammer, if you're just an investor, you should welcome those prices. Like, wow, yes, please get us those prices. That's what I want to buy. And so that's, I think it should be. Carl says because I'm too old for a 10-year bear market. I think it's still it's an opportunity, I think, for all of us. It doesn't matter how old or how young you are. But yeah, that 10-year, I think if we do get that 10-year bear market, it's gonna be painful for some people. I think including all of us, because it's like, okay, we are good with 1-year bear cycle, right?
No.
So we like that. Now we're talking about a lot longer. But yeah, that kind of a pattern can easily put anything into a big bear cycle, like a super bear cycle, right? We are all talking about super cycles here. Super bear cycle is much more uh, has a much higher probability than a super bull cycle at this point. At least that's what the charts are telling you. So, but yeah, and everybody catching up to the 4-year cycle is not a good story either. A lot more believers this time than previously, and everybody just waiting to buy that October bottom.
There's
It
a
is
lot
going
of
to be a little
people.
bit,
Yeah.
yeah. It's like everyone is talking about it. And in 2021, I felt like I was the only one, literally, like at least in my circle. I did not see anybody else talking about it. No one talked about 2022 bottom, at least in my circle or people that I knew, or crypto Twitter that I was at least exposed to. Now it's like everybody's talking about it. So it's definitely a little bit scary when everybody starts to talk about it. But we are ready for that, right? We are ready if it doesn't work out. We know exactly what the move is going to be. So hopefully Nat and I, we can buy that Ethereum under that $150. That would be pretty awesome. But let's see. I mean, people are offended right now at 3 digits when we say, it's going to be in triple digits. People are offended, like, I don't think that's not going to happen, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, yeah, there's a possibility. And we are not even talking about it now. Bits, you're saying maybe even potentially a double digit at this point. Yeah, it's going to be interesting. All right. Anything else, Bits, that you want to cover? I think we talked about a lot of things today.
No, I think that's it's probably good. I'm out here bear posting Solana, so I'm having a good old time, you know. I'm out here going back through old Solana posts, seeing if I can post updates to some of these soul charts that have played out beautifully.
Yeah.
But no, yeah, that's it. Yeah, guys, look, I mean, it's if anything, I guess you just have to take away that in these markets, nothing will hurt you more than being overly convicted or having too much ego about like a certain outcome, because the markets will humble you. And so I think it's, you guys have to do what we do, which is we look at both sides. I learned this from people much smarter than me, that you have to look at both sides and have a bull case, have a bear case, try and find as many possible deviations and outcomes to those. You can say, well, if it goes here, maybe it goes there, like just a bunch of if then statements. And then you just, instead of trying to force the market to give you what you want, you have you're prepared for these different scenarios to play out, and then you have a little bit of flexibility. You kind of move with it.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, I love that.
What's up, Ash?
These are 2 levels for now, at least in the meantime. That should give you some sort of a significant bounce. But this is looking dangerous too, Bits. Like this is almost like if you were trading a 15 minutes chart, and those like alpha seedlings folks that are here, if you look at this, I mean, whenever we take a short position, our short would be here, right, on M15. What are we targeting? We are going much lower, right, on this kind of a pattern. So like we are potentially taking out these lows like on M15. So now you're seeing this kind of being created on a monthly chart. You have to be very cautious here. I mean, even this, we wouldn't buy this on M15. Would be like we wouldn't buy this on an M15 chart once we get there. Like that's how you have to look at it. And so and by the way, everybody, if you're not already in Alpha Seedlings, that's our Telegram community. It is free to join. Make sure that you send us a DM, myself, Orbits of Wealth, and we'll get you added. I see Ash has joined. Ash, you missed all the fun. We were talking about some pretty awesome stuff around Ethereum. You missed some of that, but welcome. I know it's super early for you. And yeah, Nat having validation levels as well. Agree with that. So just kind of switching gears here for a second. This was a play that was called out in Alpha Seedlings. I shared it super early and also had this level drawn. These are the 2 levels that I'm watching. I am anticipating this to move to at least 1 to maybe 1.2 mil market cap before a significant correction, and then maybe coming back down to about 200K or so. Again, I don't know this team at all. I don't know anything about them. It's so funny. I don't think I've even visited their Twitter page. It was just sent to me, this project, and I just did a little bit of research on the distribution and all of that, the holder count, those sort of things. But I didn't really look at their X account. I don't know their team, but it was sent to me by another KOL who I do trust, and he sent me some good calls in the past. And he's very ethical, not somebody who would just rob his community with silly calls. And so I was interested in this one, and I'm seeing where it ends up. Let's see if we can get that 1.2 mil market cap or so, and then maybe have a correction, and then maybe another leg up. So that's what I'm looking for here. Tears was kind of shaky. They lost their X account. They've gotten it back now, and it had a significant correction off of this 5 mil market cap. And so it seems to have bottomed out here. Let's see if we can get another leg up here, or maybe even higher potentially to this level, maybe 10 mil market cap or above. Don from Alpha Meta is heavily involved in this one as well. He's helping the team out. I don't personally know their team, but Don has been working very closely with them. So I'm hoping that we can get another leg up higher. I know they've been kind of attacked, and their Twitter was taken down and all of that. So we'll see how this one works out. This is a political coin. And so, and they post a lot of offensive things. So just be mindful of the freedom of speech for everybody here. And so we'll see what this one does. So these are a few plays that I'm watching. On the good side, like outside of the meme token, let's see if I can get that. Oh my God, Angel is not showing up here for some reason. I'll have to find it. Okay, what about Twin? Okay, here we go. No, it's not this one. It's Twin on Ethereum. Okay, I'm gonna have to find it. I don't know why it's not showing it. Dex Screener does this to me sometimes. But these are really a few of the projects that I'm watching. ANGL is a token that's an AI focused coin. Pretty awesome, actually. I've seen some interesting wallets accumulating it, so keeping an eye on that one for sure. Remember, these are like very professional teams and with regulated companies under them, so they are not going to be trying to create fake hype or even real hype, right? They're not going to do the whole hype thing that we normally see in Web3. They're going to, when the news hits, it's going to hit, and it's going to be like, oh wow, this is interesting. But keep an eye on all the news releases, read them, because there's a lot of stuff in the fine print that people are ignoring right now, especially when it comes to Angel token. They are actually going to be doing they're going to be doing token launches with Angel liquidity. Angel is the liquidity pair, so that increases the price for Angel. That also brings in buybacks, because they'll be launching tokens that are paired with Angel liquidity. So just keep an eye on the fine print that comes out of that ecosystem. It's important to read those news articles. So definitely look at that one. I see JPT says, how can I get the link to the TG? Make sure that you send us a DM, and we'll get you added there. Ash says he's going to go back and watch the replay. Yes, absolutely. And Bits will be posting some of those things on his page as well. All of the Solana discussions that we had today that were fun. Carl says he got some small bags in Oink and Tears at those levels. This was a good one. Thanks. Yep. Let's see how they do for us. Some of the calls in the group were absolutely lit, especially with the markets the way they are right now. Let's see what Bitcoin is doing currently before we end. Okay. You think Bits is gonna confirm here? Maybe for a short?
Yeah, it could be. It's looking like it wants to, huh?
Yeah. No volume though. But yeah, this is going to be the range really. Just watch out for this. Definitely the weekly range that we're gonna have on this. Let's see. From here to here, 65 to about 80K. That's what I'm calling for before we head lower. This was a good buy, by the way. Bits look, it is also bounced off of the weekly 200 EMA.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, high time frames don't look bad. No, they don't look bad
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
for the
This
short
one.
term at least. Yeah.
Yeah. We'll see if maybe we get a little bit higher, and then yeah, will be interesting. All right. This is really all for today. And we will be back again on Wednesday with another live stream. Anything else, Bits, before we end our call?
No, I think we did a good bit of everything today. So yeah, I'm gonna keep scalping the range. That's gonna be my plan. Is keep getting little scalps here and there, aggressively taking profits. I'm lowering my expectations quite a bit in terms of how far I would normally be trying to get a trade. I'm just trying to get it, like even those just 1-to-1s right now. I mean, I typically try not to take a lot of 1-to-1s, but I might even take a few of those. I normally like to take at least a 2-to-1, and then I TP at the 1-to-1. But
Yeah.
we're just in a scalper's environment right now in these ranges. So
yeah, it's gonna be that. Really, you have to be grateful for whatever the market gives us. Well, yeah, that's great. We'll keep you posted on how Bits trades go as well for Cardano and BTC and everything. Yeah, those are gonna be good.
Definitely will.
Yeah. Well, thanks everybody for joining. Thanks, Carl and NatNat. Thanks, Ash. Everyone who's here today. Thanks to all the chart guys who show up as well and support us.
100%.
Appreciate all of that. And yeah, we'll be back again on Wednesday. Thank you and have a wonderful rest of the day. Happy Monday.
See you guys.